Good afternoon, my good friends, from wherever you are in this big planet. Okay, now this video and this newsletter is promising to ruffle some feathers big time. But again, you know what? Don't expect less than the truth with Dr. Turi. The title, Jordan Maxwell versus Dr. Turi, David Icke, the truth that will set you free. All right. First of all, I need to mention to you one more time, I am not here to bash anybody. Now, before anything, if you have watched my show on Carrie Cassidy, Project Camelot, I gave her the date of the 31st, and I clearly mentioned to all of you to be ready for earthquakes at or above 6.0. And on the 31st, we had a 6.5 in Idaho in the United States. You can't make these things up, my friends. The link is live. Go and look. My first predictions that I ever made about earthquakes to the USGS, Seismologist Institute in Pasadena in 1995, after my first appearance on Art Bell. Go and read the facts. So, if I'm not here to refresh your memory about my predictions, of course, it's my words against yours. Okay? Me to know and you to find out. So I know you're busy. You got all sorts of things to do. So I have to make sure you realize once again, I predict a 6.5 earthquakes, and they do not happen every day. All right. So this being said, my friend, Jordan Maxwell was a great, great friend of mine. And I never said and never, ever will say anything bad about this man. Why? Because there is nothing bad to say about Jordan. I just wish that he accept the truth to what happened between us. The fact of the matter is Dr. Turi would not exist. And so what David Icke and other people. It is because of Jordan Maxwell that we are who we are today. So, that's a fact. In the old day, Jordan was a big guy in the Truth Seeker in San Diego. And he was, gathering the best people he could. And he found me. And we became very, very, very close for years. Jordan and I, we've seen a lot. Yeah. He even introduced me to a very, very wealthy man. And this guy came in my house and he says, I heard a lot of good things about Dr. Turi from Jordan. Tell me something about myself. I look at him and said, were you born in September? He goes, well, how do you know? Oh, I said, because what happened in your life, it's happening pretty much in mine because I'm a Pisces. It did make no sense to him by mutual perception. Virgos and Pisces are the same thing. There is only 6 signs of the zodiac. 12 is just the opposite. It's a long story. I'm not here to teach you astropsychology just yet. I said to him, well, chances are you are going to go through a divorce. He looked at me, he looked at Jordan, and he put his hand in his pocket and he pulled out a piece of paper. And that was the paper of divorce that he picked up from his desk before flying to San Diego with Jordan. He was impressed, my first prediction. And he says, tell me something else that nobody knows. I look at him and I said, you're accident prone on the head. He says, what do you mean? I said, well, I don't know. Do you have any stitches on your head? And he goes, oh my God. And he bent down and he showed me his head. He had a scar like this on the left side of his head. He was showing me. Jordan was looking at me It was like smiling. Yeah, that's my boy. And Jordan, you know, I know you're watching this video, my friend, and you know the truth. I don't lie. You know it's true. All that I'm saying, every word that comes out of my mouth is true. All right. The next thing he said to me was, okay, how am I going to die? I was kind of wondering, shall I tell him or not? And I said, you're going to die twice. You look at me, look at Jordan, and he laughed his head off. He said, you know what, Dr. Turi, I had a lot of faith in you. From so far, you hit me dead on. But nobody dies twice. I mean, he was a Virgo, a very rational, very practical, very down to earth. So he had the right, to deny my vision. Let's put the clock forward years and years later, and Jordan can certify that. I received a call on those Christmas Day from Larry. He says, Louis, you're the only one I'm going to call. I want to say goodbye. I said, goodbye for what? He says, you know what? I can forgive others, but I cannot forgive myself. I had it. I'm out. I said, listen, stand by. I'm jumping in a plane. I'm going right there. He says, thank you, Louis. I love you. Goodbye. But 2 or 3 hours later, I can't remember, so many years ago, telephone rang and it was the attorney. He says, Louis, I have bad news for you. I said, you know what? I know. Larry is dead. He said, how the hell do you know? He called me. But he says, what's interesting is the way he died. I said, oh, well, how did he die? He said he went in his garage. He lay down on the floor. He put the rifle in his mouth and he pulled the trigger. And half of his face went off. Then he walked from the garage all the way to his room. He locked the door behind him and he got his gun and he shot himself on the other side. Yes, my friend. The entire left side where he was beaten when he was young by a bunch of kids with a baseball bat, fractured his skull, and the entire left side of his body was left numb, so he didn't feel anything. So imagine my good friend Larry walking to his bedroom and said, damn you, Louis, you're right. I'm going to die twice. This is sad. This is sad, but it's also the reality. And Jordan knows every single thing. He knows that every word that comes out of my mouth is true. Now, in reference to his friends, for some reason, a few people told me, hey, how come, Jordan is talking about Nostradamus astrology, he's talking about his friend and this and that, but it's not exactly what you teach, whatever. So I don't want to go into the details. So the link is live. Go and click on the video and you're going to see Jordan talking about his friends. And for some reason, he didn't mention his name or my name. Well, that's okay in my case because we had a bit of a problem, which I will explain later. So Joe is a student of mine and he's a Scorpio. So he's rational, he's Capricorn. He thinks and he talks like a Capricorn. So he's into number, he's into detail, he's into modern astrology naturally, even though that he graduated as an astropsychologist. You could take the horse of the water. It doesn't mean he's going to drink. So he goes back to, he's on a UCI and teach astrology the best way he knows how. Okay. So it did not match what I was teaching. And Jordan is out there saying, my friend predicted coronavirus. I mean, you watch the videos. Well, the only person who has predicted the coronavirus is me. Not only this, but I also predicted the airline industry and the cruise corporation going belly up. I mean, and so much more. All you have to do is to get your 2020 Nostradamus Dragon forecast for your sign and, check the facts. But I collected a bunch of emails that you can read between me and some people, and even Joe. Joe is a Scorpio. The truth means a lot to Joe. He's a real true Scorpio. So he actually says, yes, Dr. Turi, you are my teacher, and I tell everybody to come on to see you to learn. So he's being very honest. You can read, he's on an email that he sent me. It's there on the newsletter for you to read. Click on the link, read it all. But what really happened with Jordan? It is so freaking stupid. You have no idea. Let's go back years and years ago when Jordan and I, we were good friends. We were doing a conference somewhere, can't remember where, maybe in LA. And I was having breakfast with George Norrie. We were talking and we were eating. And Jordan was walking by and he looked at me. And I looked at him and I smiled. And then that was it. Not a big news. And then Jordan talked to me in my face and he says, I dare you. You're sitting with George Norrie and you don't invite me. I was just speechless. What? You're Jordan Maxwell, for God's sake. You do not need an introduction. All you have to do is to walk to our table, say, hello, it's not my table, it's George Norrie's table. And George would probably say, hey, join us and sit down. You know, George has a big, huge heart. George is not an egocentric. And then when he told me that, I was just totally blown away. He just ruined years, over 12 or 15 years of very close relationships, just because that day he felt insecure. And then I look at his chart during those days, he had the tail of the dragon in his subconscious, which made him very, very susceptible and very, very insecure. You could see when he is on talking on this video, how convincing and how real he is when you say, yes, my friend is the only one who practiced Nostradamus astrology. In the back of his head, he's talking about me because I know Jordan. And Jordan has dragged me all over the place. Nobody has ever endorsed and promoted me like Jordan Maxwell did. And that led me to the connection with so many, many people. All I can say to my good friend Jordan, this is old now, okay? I never, ever have said anything wrong against you because there is nothing wrong to say against you. You have taught me things. You have given me pictures that I couldn't have get from nobody, nowhere on the planet. And to that, I say, thank you, Jordan. I dare anyone to find any place or any of my newsletters, and there's thousands out there, where I once say anything bad against Jordan Maxwell. Unlike David Icke, when he invited David Icke in San Diego, there was a limousine, there was a $1 million house where he stayed with Pamela, his wife. There were a big, fat, hundreds of thousands of dollars contracts with David Icke. When I came to the United States in 1984, I only had $50 in my pocket. Nobody was there to help me. The reason why David Icke is because of Jordan Maxwell. Never ever forget this fact. And I had a big downfall with David because every single year I gave him my books. I guided him wherever he was in the world. Okay? But he's such an egocentric man. He's so selfish, typical Aries, even though the people think whatever. So again, you have links where you can read that. This upcoming SOS to the World window is all about getting a wake-up call. It's all about reality. It's all about the hard facts, the undeleted, vexing truth. And I'm ahead of that window by offering you an option for you to really, really digest the truth. There are still people out there that you're not going to believe this, that are actually denying the reality of what's going on, to the point to where You even have very, very powerful people in place of, in position of power. You're talking about politicians that actually are denying the facts of what's going on with the coronavirus. This is insane. I don't want to elaborate on these idiots who should not be in power to start with, because he doesn't give a damn about your life. It's obvious. There are other students of mine who have gathered a lot of people out there. They are using word for word every single sentence that I wrote to promote astropsychology and also the use of astrology. And this student of mine is even using my artwork without asking my permission. Why didn't I sue him? Because my mission is to promote my work, my cosmic work. And my students are doing just that. But at least have the decency to tell who your teachers is, because all these people have been conned. Because in no way, none of my students will teach and give you the reflex you need the way I do. That's just the way it is. Go and look at the pictures, go and read all the good stuff that I wrote to you, for you, and deal with it. Yeah, Jordan has been screwed. Yeah, he's got a big heart, and it's like me. He's more into his work than anything else. He's been screwed. I'm not gonna say name. I'm not gonna say the entire story. And he's very resentful. He's very, very bitter because of that. And I mean, I am at the same time knowing that I've been screwed not only by David Icke, but some of my students. But that's okay. God has a plan for each one of us. And you have to expose the truth, but leave it as that. And let karma take care of the situation, because that's how it is. Well, all I can tell you, my good friend, is that this upcoming SOS to the world deadly window is all about death. It's all about drama. It's all about wake-up calls. I mean, serious wake-up calls. And I'm preparing you for that window. So if you're a police officer, if you're into the Secret Service, if you work at night, be careful what you do. Be careful what you say, because anything you say and do will follow you for the rest of your life. That's how it is during this very specific window. The reptilians are targeting the police. Expect news about secrets, sex, terrorism, crazy people killing people, police getting killed or killing each other, being killed by people. It's just unbelievable. I give you the quatrains, I give you the keywords. Please, in God's name, share this upcoming window, because this is one of the red carpet of the reptilians. This is going to be probably the most obvious windows you're going to get. It comes back regularly, like the news comes back regularly. But during this upcoming window, just please be careful what you do, what you say, where you go, because you are 150% prone to catch coronavirus if you do not heed my warnings. Remember, the reptilians reside on Pluto. This is a plutonic window, okay? It is where the reptilians are at their utmost destructive and much more powerful than usual. I mean, a lot of human beings are not going to make it through that window, not just because of the pandemic, but because depression and suicide and God knows what, not to forget nature devastative forces. Remember, I gave the date of the 31st to Kerry Cassidy. You have the TV show. Watch it. Hear me. Read the newsletter. And then on the 31st, you have these earthquakes that took place. That 6.5 earthquake in Idaho. Again, my friend, you don't make these things up. Your friend Dr. Turi is here to help you, to guide you during those extraordinarily difficult time. I know you had it. You had it listening to coronavirus. You had it with a chain, a tsunami of negative news. But it's part of life to face the fact, to accept the reality. And remember, as I told you in many of my previous videos, you are a power source of creativity. You are so much more than what you call a human being made of bone, flesh, and nerves, my friends. You are a power source of creation. I have told you again in many of my previous videos why we are suffering coronavirus and why coronavirus was created by somewhere, somehow, us all. So understand one more time that the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thoughts. And as a human being, you are responsible for our future as a whole. That's why it's important, regardless of the stress, the depression, the insecurity, and the fear you are succumbing under today. Do not give in to the reptilians, because that's all you have, my good friends. That's all you have. You're on a positive thought. You have to use the same psychical force that those nasty entities are using in plaguing our solar system. They need your fear. They need this insecurity. They need to manipulate the mind of our scientists to weaponize the weather, using science to create viruses, to create nukes, to create drama. They need all this negativity, much like fleas need blood on a dog. Refuse to be that dog. Said, okay, we're in this shit, excuse my French, together. Okay, now I'm gonna go the other way. I'm going to listen to Dr. Turi. I'm gonna have hopes. Everything's gonna be fine. We will go through that. Now, yesterday I wrote a very important newsletter. Again, one of the most important newsletter that I ever wrote. Yet, many of you are just looking at the title. And when they see the title, they say, oh, that's not worth it for me to click and listen to that video or to watch that newsletter. The video I made yesterday clearly enunciates why some people attract coronavirus and why other people won't attract coronavirus. It's all written in light through the stars. So when I talk about Chris Cuomo, please listen and listen to the video, read the newsletter, educate yourself, because that's the only tools you have to beat the reptilians. Remember, ignorance and fear will always, including emotion, will always override your critical thinking. If you are afraid, you have good reason to be afraid. But you still have a will, or the part of God in you, which is much stronger than anything that you will ever have to face in your life. Okay? So make the choice. Remember, positive, negative, up and down, black and white, the front, the back, God, devil, the yin and yang, daylight, two eyes, two arms, two legs, two sides of the brain, the positive brain, the draconis, and the reptilian brain. Don't feed the reptilians. Use that creativity to take us out of this deep hole that we have created. Again, to those who did not watch my video yesterday, the computer you are watching me in, the car you drive today, the tools you use, the watch you read the time with, including cities like Paris, New York, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, once upon a time did not exist. We have created all, including these viruses and all viruses. Listen to the video that I made yesterday if you did not, my friend, because there are tips in there that you need to know. You know, the people that have followed David Koresh, all those religious fanatics, They were forced to live the life and the fate of David Koresh, who has promised them to end in hell and in fire. The end result, they suffered the creation of their thought, and they were led to elect David Koresh. The same with Reverend Jones. All these people believe in the apocalyptic time, God's wrath. They're creating all that. They sign up for this. Next thing you know, they're getting poisoned by this crazy religious fanatic infected by the reptilians. One more time, your president wanted to build a huge, big, tall wall all over the United States. Guess what? Thank you, President Trump. The wall is built, but it's not a physical wall. I know many of you are going to have a hell of a problem to digest, accept, assimilate, understand, and more of all, accept the reality that I'm talking about. And it's only by repeating myself and giving you a bunch of examples that you will understand that, you like it or not, you know it or not, my good friend, you were made in the image of God. There is no difference between two images. You have inherited the same power as your creator. But they are not going to teach you this in Sunday school. And all these idiots out there gathering together, praying God, a God that they cannot hear, that will never hear, because they don't read the sign and they don't speak God cosmic language. I do. All right, my good friend, please, please, this is a terrible, terrible upcoming SOS to the world. If you're a police officer, if you work at night, do not feed the reptilians. Be careful what you say. I will never tell you again. If you're a Patreon, go and read all the detail. And if you're a VIP, again, thank you for supporting my work. If you're not, join us so you can be taken care of in our daily guidance and forecast professionally. All right, my good friend, I hope you enjoyed this little video. Again, it is not to dismiss anything or hurt anybody. It's just there to help you to improve your own cosmic consciousness in divulging the undiluted truth. Make it a beautiful day. Be safe. Please share my work and say you like my work. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.